Welcome to NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast, where we answer your money questions to help you make smarter financial decisions. This episode, I'm joined by Shannah Game, host of the podcast Everyone's Talkin Money, to talk about how to do a mid-year money check-in. This mid-year check-in is a chance for people to see if they are progressing on the right track from what they want to get from their money in 2024. So if they find that they're making good progress, for the most part, they might be able to keep doing what they're doing and maybe do some little tune-ups here and there. But if you find that you're off track from your money goals, take this moment to make some bigger adjustments potentially.
I think we have this, some people have the one eye open or barely one eye open on their money. And I find this regardless of whether you are making a lot of money and you're happy with your situation or you're not, wherever you fall on that spectrum, there's always this tension and a little bit of a nervous feeling when it comes to money, and particularly looking at how we're spending our money and where we're spending it. And I think sometimes we feel like there is this, bad kind of devil that's going to be on our shoulder and that is going to start reprimanding us for progress that we haven't made or the decisions that we made with our money. And I really, would love to get to a place where we could kind of eradicate that idea that there is a judgment piece around money and that we need to somehow analyze our money from that perspective and look at it more kind of aspirational and think about just what you're saying. Money is a tool. What do we really want to use our money to achieve? And I think that kind of shift maybe moves us a little bit out of the overwhelmed place and hopefully, a little bit more in the empowered frame of thinking.
Yeah, I think in the world of money and in life in general, the words should and shame go together a lot. People feel like they should be doing certain things with their money. We have these life milestones that we should be hitting, right? And if you're not doing them, you can feel ashamed. Or if you found that you didn't actually do what you wanted to do yourself and no one else was telling you to do this, then that can even make you feel worse because you're like, well, I set this goal for myself. No one was telling me to do this and I still didn't accomplish it. That kind of sucks. But I think reframing it to be more aspirational, to be more self-reflective and positive can really help people set the stage for the rest of the year. And one way that I like to approach this is through a little game that my friends play every so often. It's called Rose, Bud, and Thorn. And it's where you take a moment to appreciate what you've done so far, what you're proud of. That's the rose. You look at something that is in development and that you want to work on more that you're happy with so far. That's the bud. And then something that isn't so great that you maybe want to prune back. That could be the thorn. So I would encourage people to really take a moment to appreciate the good things they've done already. Think of one thing that you want to keep honing and developing, and then really one thing that you might want to change. And that can be a helpful way to frame this exercise as well.
I love that exercise. And I love that you make the correlation between should and shame. One of my very good friends, who is just this brilliant therapist, she's always telling me to stop shoulding on myself. And
yes, it can get messy when that happens.
Yeah, because I do that all the time. And I when I start hearing and paying attention to it, I notice that is a common thing around money is we operate in this place of regrets and things that we wish we should have done. And I think that brings us back to this mid-year check-in because we can use that as, like you're saying, this reframe moment. And just like your rosebud exercise, I have an exercise as well that I call the why, where, what, and how. And it's just thinking about, 1 to maybe 2 or 3 at the most, because our brain cannot handle more than 3 at a time. Goals are things that we want to reach this year. And think about, why is this important? Where are we at? What do we need to do? What is getting in the way? And how do we get there? So I think with both of these exercises, what's great is they're aspirational and they're tangible as well, something that we can do that hopefully won't stress us out in this process. I am a big fan of shopping around. I think one of actually my biggest money, I don't even know if it's a secret really, is I call my cell phone carrier and my internet carrier at least twice a year. And I always ask them, hey, am I on the best plan for the amount of usage that I'm using? And I would say probably 8 out of 10 times there is a new revamped plan that probably has either, every plan now has unlimited minutes, but, has some new feature that is less expensive. And so on a given year, we probably save between like $20 and $30 a month on kind of a continual basis.
Nice.
Just utilizing that one tip. But I would say another thing I want to add to the list, and this is one of the things that is not so sexy about money, but I think it's really important, is checking in on your beneficiaries. So if you set a life insurance beneficiary or a beneficiary for your investment account or even your checking or savings account, I want to make sure that that is the person that you would want that money left to. Not to be the bearer of bad news, but I've had quite a few friends who have had their partners pass away, unfortunately, and have not had those beneficiaries updated and not received money that would have been very helpful. So I think, some of those non-sexy things are also important to think about when we're looking at this mid-year time.
Yeah. And setting beneficiaries on an account, whether it's your high yield savings account or an investing account, it's shockingly easy to do. You just log into your account and you can put it in there. There's a part probably somewhere in your account settings, and you can just put the name and the information of the person who you would want to get your money. Worst case scenario. You don't have to contact a lawyer or set up an entire estate plan to do this. It's very simple and very worthwhile to do.
One of my favorite things is helping people set up what I call a fun savings account. I mean, you can title it whatever you want, but the idea is that it is a specific account where money flows from your paycheck automatically every month. And that account is allocated for you to fill in the blank with whatever word you want to call it, blow your money, shamelessly spend, whatever it might be. But I think that really helps your brain feel like, okay, there can be this fun element to money. And even if it's a small amount of money, $50 a month or $25 a month, it's something where you're giving yourself permission to actually spend money in a just what you might feel is a little bit of a reckless way.
Yes.
But you're also saying, okay, I'm going to honor this piece of me that just likes to spend money. It's summer. I like to do the things that make me feel good. But then I can also equally focus on maybe some of the other to-do items on my mid-year check-in without feeling all of the emotions.
I think that's great because money is, like we've already said, it is a tool, and tools can be very fun depending on how you use them. So doing this mid-year money check-in isn't all like setting your beneficiaries and thinking about your death and calling your cell phone company and shopping for insurance, these things that are important to do. And really, I promise, won't take all that long to do. Set aside some part of this activity that is purely fun. Maybe you're going to realize, okay, by the end of the summer, I'm going to spend X amount of money on a certain activity. Maybe it's driving out to a national park you've never been to, and you figure out how much the gas money is going to be, something like that. This way, you know that you're actually going to be really enjoying your money and not just having it be some sort of slog of a chore. Thanks for watching. I'm Sean Pyles, host of NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. If you learned something new today, hit like and subscribe and share with your friends. Also, listen to NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.